श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपार करुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्।
श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। With the blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we have come almost to the close of this long session of Vande GurorMandalam, studying Adi Shankara Bhagavad-Pada's Stotras. After going through Ganesha Ashtakam, Ganesha Bhujangam, Guru Ashtakam, and various Shiva Stotras including Shivananda Lahari, various Devi Stotras including Saundarya Lahari, we have seen a few Vishnu Stotras, and now we are into Vishnu Bhujanga Prayata Stotram, sloka number 11.
Periva Sharanam. Jareyam Pishachi Vahajivato me Vasamatti Raktancha Mam Sambalancha Aho Devasidami Deenanukampin Kimadyapi Hantatvadiyodasitavyam.
In Vishnu Bhujanga Prayata Stotram, there was a beautiful description of the characteristics of Parabrahma and then the Swarupa of Mahavishnu, including the reference to Mahalakshmi and Bhudevi. Then there was a reference to the difficulties the Jiva faces when he leaves his body, the great distances to travel to reach Amaloka, the difficulties, the misery, etc. Now he is talking about the old age, problems of old age. Jareyam pishachi vahaji vato me vasamatti raktancha mamsam balancha. Iyam jara, this old age, jara is old age. Pishachi, like a pishachi, ha jivato me, even when I am alive, jivato me. The earlier reference was to the misery faced by the jiva after dropping his body on the way to the Yamaloka, that 1 year travel. That was the subject in the last sloka. Now here, he says, even when we are alive, we have to face this problem of old age. Ha means, alas, what a difficulty. Vasam atti raktancha mamsam balancha. Iyam jara, this old age, vasam atti, it eats into our fat, it eats into our blood, raktam cha mamsam, it eats into our flesh, it eats into our strength, ultimately. After having eaten into the fat, the blood, the flesh, it ultimately leads to loss of strength. Aho devasida midinanukampinne kimadyapi hantat tvayodasitavyam. You are always celebrated as Dina Anukampinne. Anukampa means compassion. You are said to be very compassionate, with notable compassion, shown to Dinas, poor people. So now I am finding it so miserable. Aho Deva Sidami. I am miserable now. Oh Deva, Aho Sidami. Aho means again. What a wonder. What a wonder that I am suffering so much when you are there to protect, to show compassion to the poor. That is the wonder. Aho deva sida medinanukampinne kim adyapi hanta tvayoda sitavyam. Hanta is also an expression of wonder. Adyapi, even today, kim tvaya udasitavyam. Am I to be ignored by you? Udasitavyam, treated with udasina, udasina bhava, that is ignoring. Am I to be ignored by you when you are known as compassionate, being compassionate to the poor, and when I am miserable with this old age? So he is putting it like a question. All that this means is this old age, this misery of death, misery of travel after death, misery of death is going to refer in the next shloka. So all this is inevitable. When you were born as a human being on earth, this is also born along with you. No escape from that. So all that you can do is to know that Bhagavan is Denanukampi and take refuge in him. So at least he will take care of you. The misery cannot be avoided. That state of difficulty cannot be overcome. But you will feel when somebody is holding your hand when you are in misery, how do you feel? You feel relieved. So that sense of relief, you may not even feel the misery if you are lucky, if you are so much devoted to Bhagavan. Now, Jnani is, we will see it when we go to Manisha Panchakam. Jnani is experience all these physical troubles, but they don't say they are experiencing. Their body experience the same. Ramana Maharshi had terribly painful cancer in his hand. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had a terribly painful cancer in his throat. That too. So, but did they ever complain? Did they ever feel the pain? No. That was the body. So they were above body consciousness. Who gave them that kind of jnana? Bhagavan. Because he is Dinanukampi. So, the answer is to take refuge in Bhagavan and not to worry about this. But to say all this is to develop a vairagya, to develop dispassion towards the body. Jareyam pishachaiva hajivato me vasamasti raktancha mamsam balancha. This old age, like a pishacha. Pishachi is a female pishacha. Even when I am alive, eats into my fat, my blood, my flesh, my strength. Oh, what a wonder that when you are present, being celebrated as compassionate to the poor, this is happening to me. I am feeling very miserable. Am I to be ignored by you even now? Jareyam pishakeva hajevato me vasamasti raktancha mamsam balancha aho devasidami dinanakampimme kimadyapi hantat svayodasitavyam.
कफव्याहतोष्णोल्बणश्वासवेगव्यथा विस्फुरत्सर्वमर्मास्थिबन्धाम् विचिन्त्याहमन्त्यामसङ्ख्यामवस्थाम् बिभेमि प्रभो किं करोमि प्रसीद.
Now he is describing the misery felt by the human being at the time of death. That is, at the time life departs from this body. At the time the prana departs from this body, what happens? What is the misery you experience? Again, the principle, the planning is the same. The aim is the same. Kaphavyahatoshnol banashvasa vega yatha vispurat sarva marmasthi bandham. The swasa vega, the breath becomes very speedy. It doesn't follow the normal speed of normal human being. It becomes very speedy. Ulbana, it becomes very heavy. Heavy breath, fast breath. Ushna, it becomes hot. Kapha vyahata, it is it is accompanied by kapha. Kapha is phlegm. There are three doshas in Ayurveda: kapha, vayu, and pitta, and they are there permanently in the body, and they have to be maintained in their balance. Then only the body is normal. If one of these doshas exceeds its balance, then you are suffering from either kapha or vayu or pitta. Now, at the time of death, this kapha becomes predominant, and along with the speedy vayu which is exhaled from his nose, that vayu is, that prana is hot and heavy and speedy. Then what happens? Vyatha vispurat sarva marma asthibandham. Sarva marma asthibandham. Asthibandha is bone joint. Asthi is bone, bandha is joint. All bone joints, that too all critical bone joints, marma asthibandha. All critical bone joints or felt like vispurati. Vispurati means breaking out, cracking out. Painful cracking of all bone joints is what you feel. Vyatha, what will be the condition at that time? Will you feel very happy? It's very painful. Vyatha means extremely painful. Extremely painful cracking of all critical bone joints, apart from the heavy and hot and fast breath accompanied by phlegm. Vikintyaham asankham avastham vibhemi. Aham vibhemi, I am very much afraid. About what? Vikintya, thinking of this, thinking of what? Antyam, this state which I am going to get at the time of death. Antya means at the time of death. Asankham, I have only mentioned two things. There are hundreds of things which will be happening in the body. I have not mentioned all that. Asankham, innumerable. Innumerable avastham states. Avastha means states. Avastha does not mean the Tamil avastha. Avastha does not mean the painful state. It only means state. Because Vyatha is already mentioned, the pains have already been described. So this kind of pains are innumerable, not one pain in the body. Thinking about that, now when I am healthy, I have not reached that state. Thinking about that, I am very much afraid. Prabho kinkaro mi prasida. Prabho, what should I do? Please bless me. Prasida, please bless me. Bless me with what? He is going to tell in the next shloka. But blessing of Bhagavan, as we mentioned in our last shloka, is going to mitigate your suffering. That is where blessing of Bhagavan comes. Suffering cannot be completely eliminated because that is part of the human system. Every human being goes through that. Only except for jnanis, they are a special category. For them, the breath goes through the Brahmarandhra on the top of their head. Nothing happens to them, no pain, nothing. It just leaves the body very peacefully. He is extremely at peace. Then he merges with Parabrahma Sarupam. So that is the state of jnani. But for those jnanis, but all the others who have to come back in this cycle of samsara, this pain is bound to be there. No question of avoiding that. But Bhagavad Bhakti will enable you to cross this painful state without much difficulty. So, at the time of death, there is very fast breath, very hot, very heavy, and accompanied by phlegm. And all the bone joints, particularly the critical bone joints, feel like as if they are cracking, that much of pain. Like this, there are innumerable painful states in the body at the time of death, and I am thinking of them right now, and I am very much worried. I am afraid. What should I do? Please bless me. Prabho, सभव्याहतोष्णोल्बणश्वासवेग व्यथा विस्फुरत् सर्वमर्मास्थिबन्धाम् विचिन्त्याहमन्त्यामसङ्ख्यामवस्थाम् बिभेमि प्रभो किं करोमि प्रसीद.
लपन्नच्युतानन्त गोविन्द विष्णो मुरारे हरे नाथ नारायणेति यथानुस्मरिष्यामि भक्त्या भवन्तं तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद.
So, please bless me such that I will remember you at the time of death. When all these painful conditions are occurring in my body, my mind should be able to concentrate on you. That is something impossible, next to impossible. But with your blessing, impossible will become possible. So please bless me. Lapan Achyutananda Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Nath Narayaneti Yatha Anusmarishyami Bhaktya Bhavantam. Lapan means chanting your names. Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda, Vishnu. This is at the time of death, I should be able to chant your name, mentally at least. Achyuta is one who does not come down from his state. Achyuta is falling down from state. That happens to all of us frequently. We have a normal state and we go down. We would go down in anger, we go down in kama, krodha, lobha. All the afflictions are there. Whereas Bhagavan has no such affliction. He is free from all attributes. So he never falls from his normal state. He is always ever at peace, always normal. Achyuta, Ananta. Ananta means no end for him. There is no beginning nor end. Adi Ananta Shunya. Govinda. Govinda is one who protects the cows. That is the normal meaning taken, but it is much bigger than that. Go means also the earth. One who protects the earth. That means one who protects all the occupants of the earth. Actually, actually Bhudevi took the form of a cow before Krishnavatara took place, and then she went and complained to Brahma, I am no longer able to carry the weight of these sinners. Weight of Punyavans, she can carry any number, but when it comes to weight of sinners, the amount of sin which I am carrying, I am no longer able to carry. That was her complaint. Then Brahma took her to Vishnu, and then Vishnu promised, okay, I will now take Krishna Avatara, don't worry, go back. So that is Govinda, protector of the earth. And similarly, Govinda is also known as Govidam Patihi. Go also means words. Knowers of words or Govidas. Patihi, their head. That means the best knower of speech, the best speaker. Vishnu. Vishnu is one who is all pervading. There is no element where he is not present. Murare, enemy of Asura Mura. Hare, one who robs us of our sins, of our deficiencies. He is Hare. Hara. Hari. Hara, Hari. Both are doing the same. Nath, oh Lord, He is the protector of all of us. When there is a protector, why should we worry? That is the meaning of Natha. Narayaneti, Narayana. Narayana has got a lot of meaning as per scholars. The common meaning is Narasya Ayanaha, the refuge of human beings. The lost refuge of human beings is Narayana, Narasya Ayanaha. Another one which gives the same meaning but in a different way. Narasya Ayanaha. Nara means water. Narasya Ayanaha means one who is resting in water. That is a normal direct meaning. So there are two meanings now. One who is resting in water because he is resting in milk ocean. Water does not mean water, any liquid. Another meaning is connecting the two. Apo naro iti prokta apo ve narasunavaha. Nara means waters. Yes, correct. And we said resting in water, Nara ayana. But since Nara means waters, Narasunavaha, the children who are born, the human beings who are born of water, because in the process of creation, first comes water, then comes the earth, then comes the human being out of the five elements. So all the creation comes from water. So he says, Sapove Narasunavaha, all the human beings are born out of waters. Sa yadasyaya janam purva tena narayana smritaha. Sa yat asya ayanam. Since human beings have Vishnu as their refuge, he is known as Narayana because they are known as Nara because they came from water. So this is the third description connecting the two. Like this, there are many meanings which can be derived. Actually, if you look at these names, they are not picked at random and put together. Each has got specific significance in this context. See, Achyuta, one who does not swerve from his, come down from his normal state, because we are now leaving the body and we are not normal anymore. Question of normalcy is simply not there. Totally abnormal state we are there. but we want to retain our sanity. So that is why Achyuta name will help you there. Ananta, we feel we have faced the end of the world. Everything is over for us. That is our. So if you remember the name of Ananta, you won't get that feeling because there is continuity of our Atma. Atma is continuous, body is gone. Govinda, when he is there to protect the earth, what is there to worry? He will protect you. Vishnu, he is all pervading. So he cannot say, I didn't know about you because you were in so and so corner. I was not aware of that. He is present in every corner, every speck of the earth he is present. So nothing to worry about. Murare, he is the enemy of Asuras. So he is the enemy of all that afflicts us, bodily or otherwise, mentally. Bodily affliction, mentally affliction. He will fight them and throw them away. Hare, he will remove all our sins because they are the ones who are troubling us more at this time. Natha, he is the protector. When there is a protector, nothing to worry. Narayana, we have seen, he is the refuge for all of us. So this has been arranged, these names have been arranged in such a way that they all have special significance for a person who is facing his last seconds on earth. Yatha anusmarishyami, such that I remember these names, I will be able to meditate on these names. Anusmaranam. Smaranam is thinking, meditation. Anusmaranam is continuous meditation. So smaranam can be just once and then you lapse into something else. That is also smaranam. But anusmaranam is not that, without any break. Because that is what Bhagavan has said, isn't it? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyecha. Always, at all times, you keep thinking of me continuously, mam anusmara. Because when you break the chain for a second and then you happen to die during the second, whatever thought was there at the time of your death will determine the next birth. This is what Bhagavan has categorically said. So please chant my name continuously. This is what he has said. That is what he is saying here. Yasa anusmarishyami bhaktya, with devotion, not as a rigmarole. With devotion, I should remember your name at the time of death. Bhaktya bhavantam tatha me daya, such that this happens to me. Tatha me daya shila deva prasida. You are full of compassion towards the poor. Dinanukampi, full of daya. So I may not qualify for all this. I may be qualified only for the worst suffering. Yes. But since you are daya shila, please show me this favor. Tatha me daya shila deva prasida. Please bless me. Prasida, please bless me. Such that I will be able to continuously think of you even when my body is undergoing tremendous suffering at the time of death. Now, we all know about the story of Ajamila, who simply happened to call his son, whose name was Narayana, at the time of death. He never remembered Bhagavan Narayana. Because of his attachment to his son, he wanted to look at his son for the last time before his last breath. So he called him. But then Vishnu Dutta said, no, he has chanted Bhagavan's name, so he is not going to be taken to Yamaloka. We will take him to Vishnu Loka. Then there was an argument and then they left, both of them left, and he continued to remain on earth for many more years, and he did tapas. And then he attained Narayana's feet. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So chanting the names of Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda, Vishnu, Murari, Hari, Natha, Narayana, like this, chanting these names, continuously meditating on you with devotion, I should be able to leave this body. Please bless me such that this happens to me, because you are compassion incarnate. Sapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Nath Narayaneti Yathanusmarishyami Bhaktya Bhavantam Tatha Me Daya Shila Deva Prasida.
भुजङ्गप्रयातं पठेद्यस्तु भक्त्या समाधाय चित्ते भवन्तं मुरारे समोहं विहायाशु युष्मत्प्रसादात् समाश्रित्य योगं व्रजत्यच्युतं त्वाम्.
Now there is a Phalashruti. the stotra is over, he is giving the falashruti for one who reads the stotra. Yaha bhujanga prayatam bhaktya pathet. One who reads with devotion this bhujanga prayata stotra, Vishnu bhujanga prayata stotra. How should one read it? Samadhaya chitte bhavantam murare. O murare, keeping you firmly in mind. Samadhaya chitte bhavantam. Keeping you firmly in mind. Samadhaya means keeping firmly. Such that the thought does not leave you. The thought should be firmly rooted in your mind. With that, in that condition, if you keep reading this stotra, Samoham vihaya shu yushmat prasadat. By your grace, with your blessing, yushmat prasadat. Ashu, very quickly, saha moham vihaya. He will drop all his delusion. All the delusion will leave him. Moham vihaya. Because we have seen, it is the delusion which is the cause of all trouble. Because we attach so much importance to the body and the corresponding relation with the body that we tend to forget Bhagavan. We take, this is the truth, body is the truth, all relations are the truth, my money is the truth, my house is the truth. So when there is time, when I get bored with all this, I will think of Bhagavan. That is our attitude. That is not going to help us. We have to develop dispassion to all these possessions, including body. Body is a possession. Body is not us. We are Atma, the sentient Atma. The insentient body cannot be us. So this basic dichotomy should be clear in our minds. That is moham. Because unless this delusion leaves you, you are not entitled for jnana. And unless jnana comes, you cannot go anywhere near Bhagavan. So this is a precondition for attainment of jnana. Because jnana is dropping the delusion and developing bhakti towards Bhagavan. Samoham vihaya. He drops all the delusion. Samashritya yogam. See, only after dropping the delusion, he can attach himself to Bhagavan. Yogam is what? Attachment to Bhagavan. Yuju means to unite. So union with Bhagavan is yogam. Samashritya, having attained it. There also, instead of saying samprapya or some such word, he uses the word samashritya advisedly because it is ashraya. It is taking refuge in him that is going to give you this dropping of moha state and also the state of union. Both these states which are required for coming out of the circle of samsara, that is dropping of delusion and reaching him, uniting with him. Now that will happen only if you take complete surrender in him, leaving alone body consciousness. So that is indicated by the term samashritya, ashraya. Ashraya means surrender. Samashritya yogam vrajatyachyutam tvam, tvam achyutam vrajati. This person who has been described, he will attain you achyuta. So one who reads this Bhujanga Prayata Stotra with devotion, O Murare, keeping you firmly in mind, he will very quickly, with your blessing, by your blessing, not on his own qualification. This has to be remembered again and again. So with your blessing, he drops all delusion and unites with you by taking refuge in you, and he becomes you. Tvam achyutam vrajati. He attains your state. That is what it means. The Advaita state of Achyuta. Bhujanga prayatam patedhyastu bhaktya samadhaya chitte bhavantam murare samoham vihaya shuyushmat prasadat samashritya yogam vrajatyachyutam tvam. This brings us to the close of Vishnu Bhujanga Prayasa Stotram. Beautiful stotra. We saw Parabrahma Swarupa description. We saw the description of Mahavishnu Swarupa. We saw the description of his two Devis. We saw the description of our condition at the time of death, old age, and what happens after death when we have to trek the long way to Yamaloka. All those miseries were described. The remedy is to remember you at the time of death. so please bless me. Like that he concluded, and he gave a Falashruti saying that even one who reads this stotra with devotion and with firm remembrance of you will attain you. So very beautiful stotra, bringing out all the Advaita Vedanta together with all the qualities required for attaining Bhagavan. That is Abhyasa and Vairagya, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Both aspects are covered nicely. Now we move on to Manikarnika. Manikarnika Ashtakam. This is a stotra of 8 slokas on Manikarnika. Manikarnika is a ghat in Kashi. There are several ghats in Kashi. One of the famous ghats is Manikarnika, as we all know. Manikarnika Ghat. Now, why is this ghat called Manikarnika? What is the special significance of Manikarnika? The significance is before Ganga came to earth, because Ganga came to earth because of Bhagiratha's efforts. Now, before Bhagiratha, there were many kings, including Sagara and so many others. So, when those kings were there, there was no Ganga on earth. So, during that time, when there was no Ganga on earth, Bhagavan Vishnu was doing penance, was doing tapas from a pond known as Chakra Kunda or Chakra Pushkarini. That is where the present day Manikarnika is situated. The location of the present day Manikarnika was the location of a pond called Chakra Kunda or Chakra Pushkarini. From there, Vishnu was penancing in order to please Parameshwara. Then, because of his heavy, strong penance, Parameshwara appeared in front of him and blessed him. During that process, he was thoroughly moved by the condition of Vishnu, by the bhakti, by the severity of his penance. He was moved, and in that process, he shook his head. When he shook his head in appreciation of the penance, the kundala in his ears fell down into the waters. Mani refers to the jeweled kundalas. Karna is the ears. The jeweled kundalas in the ears, Manikarnika, fell down into the waters. And after blessing Vishnu, he left. And before he left, he told Vishnu, this place should be known as Manikarnika because of this incident. So from that time, that pond was known as Manikarnika. Then when Ganga arrived on the scene, Ganga waters, when they were passing through Kashi, they came close to this pond. So this ghat became known as Manikarnika Ghat. This is the story why it got this name. Now, he is going to tell us, Adi Shankara is going to tell us about the greatness of Kashi, about the greatness of Ganga, about the greatness of Manikarnika. Yeah, sloka number 1.
त्वत्तीरे मणिकर्णिके हरिहरौ सायुज्यमुक्तिप्रदौ वादन्तौ कुरुतः परस्परमुभौ जन्तोः प्रयाणोत्सवे मद्रूपो मनुजोऽयमस्तु हरिणा प्रोक्तः शिवस्तक्षणात् तन्मध्याद्भृगुलाञ्छनो गरुडगः पीताम्बरो निर्गतः.
He is describing a scene which is happening on the banks of Manikarnika. Manikarnika Ghat. Tattire Manikarnike. Manikarnike he is addressing. Oh Manikarnike, Tattire on your banks, Hariharo Sayajya Mukti Pradau. Vadantau kurutaha. Hari and Hara, Mahavishnu and Parameshwara, both are givers of Sayujya Mukti. Both are bestowers of Sayujya Mukti, the highest level of Mukti. Complete union with Bhagavan. That is Sayujya, we have seen before. Whether it is Shiva Sayujya or Vishnu Sayujya, it doesn't matter. Sayujya is union, complete union. Indistinguishably uniting with Bhagavan. That is Sayujya. Your identity is no longer there. That is Sayujya Mukti. So this, both are giving, both are givers of this Sayujya Mukti. Vadantau kurutaha. Both are arguing. Why they are arguing? Janto prayanotsave. When a jantu, not necessarily a human being, any living being is called a jantu. It can be an ant, it can be an animal, it can be an insect, it can be anything, any living being who leaves its body on at Kashi, on the banks of Manikarnika. That is Prayana Utsava. Now Prayana is the long travel of the Jiva after having left the body here. That is called Prayana. Now why it is called Utsava? Utsava is celebration, festival. Now this Prayana has become festival in the case of this particular Jantu. Because both are fighting, Hari and Hara, both are saying that he will go to my place, he will go to Kailasa. And Hari says, no, he will go to Vaikuntha. Look at this. Is it not Utsava? When both forms of the same Bhagavan are arguing on this aspect. Vadantau kurutaha. They are arguing with each other. Parasparam, Ubhau. Both of these, Hari and Hara, Parasparam, together. They are arguing at the time of this long travel of this Jantu. Now there is no more long travel. Long travel is mentioned as a normal procedure. Prayana is a normal procedure for the Jiva to go to Yamaloka. But this Jiva does not go to Yamaloka. It goes straight to either Vaikuntha or Kailasa. And that is also travel only, isn't it? From Bhuloka to Kailasa or Bhuloka to Vaikuntha. So Prayana is travel. Not a long travel, not a miserable travel, but travel. In fact, it's celebratory travel. Prayana Uttave. So, at the time of the celebratory travel of this Jantu, these two, Hari and Hara, are arguing. Both are givers of Sayujya Bhakti and both want that this Deva should go to their realm. That is the argument. Then what happened? Madrupo Manujo Yamastu Harina Prokta Shivaha Takshanat. Harina Proktaha Shivaha. By Vishnu was addressed to Shiva. Vishnu said finally, no, leave it with me this time. Leave it with me this time. He made a request. So listening to that request, Madrupo Manujo Yamastu. What was his request? Let this Manujaha, let this Manusya, let this human being. This time he said human being, last time he said Jantu, but it actually applies to Jantu, though he is calling it as Manujaha here. It does not mean other Jantus, this does not apply. It applies to every Jantu. Madrupo Manujaha, I am Manujaha, this man, let him take my form. This is what he says. Madrupo Astu, let him take my form. This is what Hari requested. And Shiva nodded his head. Takshanat, at that very moment. There is no time lag here. At that very moment, when Hari said this and Shiva agreed, Tan Madhyat, from the body of the Jiva, from the body of the Jantu, Bhrigulanchano Garudagaha Pitambaro Nirgataha. Someone came out and went to Vaikuntha. Who was that? He was wearing Pitambara. This new Jiva, he was wearing yellow silk like Vishnu. He was traveling on Garuda. Nirgataha, he was traveling on Garuda, and he was also having Bhrigulanchanaha. Bhrigulanchana is Srivatsa, the mark which is left on Vishnu's chest is called Srivatsa, Srivatsankita Urasaha. So, how this happened is because of Bhrigu Maharshi. That's why it's called Bhrigu Lanchana, mark of Bhrigu. Once when Bhrigu Maharshi went to Vaikuntha, Mahavishnu was resting. He did not get up and invite him As is normal when great Maharshis come, he gets up and welcomes. This time somehow it didn't happen. So Bhrigu became very angry. He kicked him on his chest with his foot. Unimaginable. He kicked Mahavishnu, who was resting, at his chest with his foot. So that mark left by Bhrigu's foot is Bhrigu Lanchanaha, mark of Bhrigu. And Mahavishnu celebrates this. He could have removed that mark. No? Is it impossible for him to remove any mark left by a foot after all? He said, no, let this mark remain. Let it be a reminder to all other bhaktas that I like this. I celebrate this. He got up. He said, please excuse me. That was my mistake. I hope your feet have not suffered any injury because of hitting against this hard chest of mine. This is what Vishnu said. These are recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam. My chest is so hard, your feet are like lotus. I hope your foot has not hurt itself by hitting against my hard chest. So that is Bhrigu Lanchana. That he celebrates as a mark. So this Jantu, the Jiva living this from this Jantu, also has all the marks of Mahavishnu. He is like another Mahavishnu. In fact, all the Parshadas of Mahavishnu look like Mahavishnu. This is mentioned in all Puranas. All the Parshadas of Rudra look like Rudra only, Shiva only, Rudra Ganas. That is why Nilagriva, Shritikantha, Sarva, it all goes there in Sri Rudram. A whole Anuvaka is there describing these Rudra Ganas. Of course, in a different context, but description is there. So, but if you read the description, it looks as if Shiva is only being described. They are all having the same appearance. Similarly, in the case of Vishnu, all his Parshadas look like Mahavishnu. This Jantu has become another Parshada of Vishnu. He goes to Vaikuntha with the same symbols of Vishnu. O Manikarnike, on your bank, at the time a Jantu leaves its body and starts preparing to travel, and that is being celebrated because it is happening on the banks of Manikarnika. It's a festival. Hari and Hara argue with each other, and both are bestowers of Sayujya Mukti, the final ultimate Mukti. The argument was that either he should go to Vaikuntha or he should go to Kailasa. Finally, Hari requested Shiva, let this human being go to Vaikuntha. Let him take my form. He didn't say let him go to Vaikuntha. Let him take my form, he said. It means that he will go to Vaikuntha. Having taken the form, where will he go? So, at that very moment, when this was said, at that very moment, from the middle of that jiva, from the middle of that body, the Jyotis came out, and the Jyotis was looking like Mahavishnu. He was traveling on Garuda. He was wearing yellow Pitambara silk, yellow dress, and he had even the mark of Srivatsa, Bhrigu Lanchana, Bhrigu's mark, which Mahavishnu is sporting on his chest. Tattire Manikarnike Hariharau Sayujya Mukti Pradau Vadantau Kurutaha Parasparamubhau Janto Prayanotsave Madrupo Manujojamastu Harina Prokta Shiva Takshanate Tanmadhyat Bhrigu Lanchano Garudagaha Itambaro Nirgataha.
इन्द्राद्यास्त्रिदशाः पतन्ति नियतं भोगक्षये ये पुनः जायन्ते मनुजास्ततोऽपि पशवः कीटाः पतङ्गादयः ये मातर्मणिकर्णिके तव जले मज्जन्ति निष्कल्मषाः सायुज्येऽपि किरीटकौस्तुभधरा नारायणास्युर्नराः.
The same idea is continued in this sloka, but emphasizing certain other aspects. Indradya Sidashaha Patanti Niyatam Bhogakshaye. Even Devas like Indra, at the time of the end of their tenure in Swargaloka, there is a tenure for them. Even Indra has got a tenure of 70 Chaturyugas. We saw that. At the end of 70 Chaturyugas, He loses his post and next Indra takes his post. Where will this Indra go? That depends on his Purva Punya. That depends on his Purva Punya. If he has become a Jnani, he will also attain Vaikuntha or Kailasa. If he has not become a Jnani, he has to take a body and go through the samsara cycle. But if he has qualified to be a Jnani but not had become a full Jnani, for example, he has to spend some more years in the sadhana, then he will go to higher lokas. There are higher lokas, the Mahaloka, Tapas loka, and all that. Those lokas, he will spend some time doing tapas. He will go to Brahma loka, and along with Brahma, he will merge with Bhagavan. This is one way. Another way is he does not have sufficient punya to his credit. With some punya, of course, he became Indra, but he doesn't have sufficient punya to his credit. Sufficient jnana is not there in him. Then he will come down to earth. Now we are talking about that condition. Those devas like Indra also have to come down. Patanti. Patanti means fall down. They fall down to earth. Bhogakshaye, at the time of their end of their tenure of enjoyment. Bhogakshaye, because that was pure enjoyment in Swargaloka. Now that period is over. At the time when it is over, some of them at least will have to come down to earth. Niyatam, this is as a rule. Even Bhagavad Gita says this very clearly. It is mentioned in Upanishads, it is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Tetam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam shine punye martyalokam vishanti. After enjoying the vishala sargaloka, the great, the large sargaloka, after enjoying that, shine punye, when the punya is all depleted, they martyalokam vishanti, they enter the bhuloka. एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्नाः. Whatever त्रयी is Veda, whatever Veda prescribed for going to Swargaloka, there are some yajnas, etc., which will definitely take you to Swargaloka. Now these people have followed the track, they have enjoyed in Swargaloka, but they did not go anywhere near the Jnana Marga. That means desires did not leave them. Because of desire to enjoy the bhogas of Sargaloka, they went to Sargaloka by adopting the Vedic means, yajnas, etc. But desires are still there in them. In fact, that is the very desire which prompted them to go to Sargaloka. So after the close of their tenure, because desires are predominant, they have to come back to earth. That is what he says. Evam trayi dharma manu prapanna gata gatam kama kama labante kama kama. Because they are still afflicted by desires, by kama. Gata gatam labante, going and coming. That is, they come down to earth because of their past punya, they do some more yajnas, they again go to Sarga, they again come back. This is called gata gatam. This kind of travel to and fro, they keep doing. This is what Bhagavan himself says in Gita. That is what he is saying here. So, this is the reference to the same subject. Tridashaha means devas. Devas like Indra, definitely, as a rule, at the time of the close of the period of their enjoyment, bhogakshaye, patanti, they fall down to earth. E punaha jayante manujaha tatopi pashavaha kitah patangadayaha. Those who come down to earth like that, they become human beings. E punaha jayante manujaha. Punaha, they again become, because they must have been human beings, performed some yajnas and ascended to Sargaloka. Now, that is why he says punaha. They become human beings again. They are born as human beings again. Not necessarily, if they don't have enough punya to even become being born as human beings, they may become worse. Tatopi, even Pashavaha, Kitaha, Patangadayaha, Pashavaha, animals, Kitaha, worms, Patangadayaha, birds, etc. Patanga is bird, etc. He says. So, that whole kingdom of all these animals, worms, insects, that is there, that whole kingdom, vegetation, trees, all that is included, mountains, all that is included. So he can become any one of them depending on the condition of his purva punya and papa. Though he had accumulated a lot of punya, that is why he went to Sargaloka. But his punya is exhausted now, depleted, so he has come down to earth. And because of his preponderance of papa, if he has papa preponderant, naturally he will become one of these animal, worm or insect or bird. Ye matar manikarnike tava jale majjanti nishkalmashaha. Those, not necessarily humans, even these worms, insects, etc. This is what is mentioned by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Now, it is very difficult for an ordinary human being to believe this. But Ramakrishna says, I am a witness to this. When he went to Kashi, he saw with his own eyes, because his eyes are not our eyes, no? His eyes are Jnana Chakshu. So he says, I have seen even animals, even birds who die on the banks of Manikarnika at Kashi, when they leave their body at the time of death, Parameshwara comes and he says, I have seen Parameshwara. Parameshwara comes accompanied by Parvati, and Parameshwara sits on the lap of Parvati, and then he chants Taraka Mantra, Ramanama, into the right ear of this Jantu, not necessarily human being, it can be a Jantu. He says so. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says so. I have seen birds and insects, animals. So, but in the right ear of this Jantu, Parameshwara chants Ramanama immediately. No, there's no loss of time. Immediately. That is why he said Tatshanati there in the first sloka. Immediately, on the spot, the jiva becomes eligible for moksha. He goes up in a divine chariot, either to Kailasa or Vaikuntha, as described. And I have seen that. This is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said. That because his divine eyes are there. So he says the same thing is mentioned here. Ye mataha manikarnike, O mata, O manikarnike, ye tava jale majjanti, those who immerse themselves in your waters, those who bathe in your waters, nishkalmashaha, they are absolved of all their sins. All their sins are removed. Sayujjepi, they also attain Sayujja. Look at this. They get relieved of all their sins and they attain Sayujja also. One is negative, another is positive. Negatives are gone. The highest positive has been blessed. What more you want? Nishkalmashaha sayujjepi kirita kaustubhadhara narayanastyur naraha. They were Nara when they were on earth, ordinary human beings. Now they have become Narayana. Because they bathed in Manikarnika, they have become Narayanas, to plural Narayana. So there are so many Jantus to whom this is happening. So many Narayanas, Manushas have become so many Narayanas, Kirita Kaustubhadhara, like what he said earlier, Bhrigulanchano, Garudagaha, Pitambaro, similar description he is giving, not repeating. They are wearing Kirita, crowns, and they are wearing Kaustubha gem on their chest. Look at that. Kaustubha gem has been taken from the milk ocean during the time of churning, Samudra Manthanam. At that time, Kaustubha jewel was taken out from the milk ocean and then it was given to Mahavishnu as a mark of respect by Devas. And he is wearing it all the time. Now, these people also wear all the marks of Mahavishnu are with them. No? So, Kirita Kaustubhadhara Narayana Styurnaraha. This is what is happening. It's a great wonder. Even Devas like Indra fall down at the close of their tenure of enjoyment in Swargaloka. This is the rule. And they are born, reborn, punaha jayante. They are reborn as human beings, or worse still, they may be reborn as animals, worms, insects, birds, etc. O Mother Manikarnika, those who bathe in your waters, they are absolved of all their sins and they are attained Sayujya and they leave Kashi as Narayanas. They were Naras before, ordinary human beings. Now they have become Narayanas, wearing crowns and kaustubha like Narayana himself. Indradya Tridashaha patanti niyatam bhogakshaye ye punaha jayante manuja tatopi pashavaha kita patangadayah ye matar manikarnike tava jale majjanti nishkalmashaha ayujyepi kirita kaustubhadhara Narayana Naraha.
काशीधन्यतमा विमुक्तिनगरी सालङ्कृता गङ्गया तत्रेयं मणिकर्णिका सुखकरी मुक्तिर्हि तत्किंकरी स्वर्लोकस्तुलितः सहैव विबुधैः काश्या समं ब्रह्मणा काशी क्षोणितले स्थिता गुरुतरा स्वर्गो लघुत्वं गतः.
Very beautiful description of Kashi this time. Kashi means Prakasha word comes from Kasha. Vishesha Kasha is Prakasha. That is very good light. So Kashi is full of light. What light? Light of Jnana, light of Moksha. Kashi Dhanyatama Vimukti Nagari Salankrita Gangaya. Dhanyatama. There may be many kshetras on earth. There are many kshetras in Bharata Desha. But of them, this is the greatest, the most sacred. Dhanyatama, most sacred, most fortunate. Fortunate for those who live in Kashi. That means Vimukti Nagari. It gives you Vimukti. Special Mukti. What is special Mukti? That's Ayuja Mukti, the highest level of Mukti. Vimukti Nagari, because there are 7 Moksha Puris which are mentioned in Shastras. Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwaravati, Chaiva, Saptaitaha, Mokshadayikaha. This is what it says. There are 7 Moksha Puris. Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya is Haridwar. Next is Kashi, next is Kanchi, next is Avantika, which is Ujjain. Puri, Dwaravati, Chaiva. Dwaravati, that is Dwaraka. These are the 7 Moksha Puris, which all of them are capable of giving moksha. But even then, out of them, Kashi is Dhanyatama, the greatest. Vimukti Nagari, it is a Moksha Puri, granting you moksha. Alankrita Gangaya, it is decorated with Ganga. Ganga is a decoration for Kashi. Tatre Yam Manikarnika Sukhakari Muktirhi Tatkinkari. Tatra, there, in that Kashi, Yam Manikarnika, this Manikarnika, that God, Sukhakari, is very blissful. The whole Kashi is blissful. Whole Kashi is Mokshapuri. But Manikarnika is extremely blissful. Muktir Hitat Kinkari. For Manikarnika, there is some speciality. What is that? Muktir Hitat Kinkari. She has a maid servant, Kinkari. Who is that maid servant? That is Mukti. Mukti Devi. That is Moksha Devi. The moksha in the form of a Devi. She is the maid servant for this Manikarnika. That means what? That means those who bathe in Manikarnika are sure of moksha. Sarloka Stulitaha Sahaiva Vibhudhaihi Kashya Samam Brahmana Kashi Kshonitale Sthita Gurutara Sargo Laghuttam Gataha. Brahmana Tulitaha. Brahma weighed the two ones. Which two? Kashi on one side and Swargaloka on the other side. He wanted to establish to the world that Kashi is greater than Swargaloka. That was his aim. So he said, I will bring a balance and put the two on the 2 plates of the balance. Now you see which is heavier. Swargalokaha tulitaha sahaiva vibhudhaihi kashya samam. Swargaloka was weighed along with Kashi, Kashya samam, by Brahma. Who are the witnesses for this? Sahaiva vibhudhaihi. Devas were the witnesses. So there has to be some witness, no? So all the Devas are present when this weighing was done. Then what happened? Kashi kshonitale sthita gurutara sargo laghuttam gataha. Kashi was comparatively very heavy compared to Swargaloka. So it fell down because of its heaviness and it came down to earth. Kshonitale, that means to the earth. Sthita, it came down and got established on earth because it was very heavy. Gurutara, very heavy. What happened to Sargaloka? Sargo laghuttam gataha. Sargo was very light, so it stayed on the top. That is the present geography of Sargaloka being where it is and Bholoka being where it is being given such a beautiful interpretation that Brahma weighed the two together and Kashi came down to earth because of its extraordinary heaviness in comparison with Swargaloka. Swargaloka stayed on the top, where it is now. So, who is better? Swargaloka is better or Kashi is better? Who is better for a human being? So, the greatness of Kashi and Manikarnika is mentioned here. Kashi is the most sacred on earth, Mokshapuri, decorated by the celestial river Ganga. There, this Manikarnika god is extremely blissful, and the maidservant of Manikarnika or Kashi, you can put it either way, because that is a separate line. Muktarhi Tat Kinkari. Tat can refer to Kashi as well as Manikarnika. I refer to Manikarnika, it doesn't matter. So, the maidservant of Kashi is Mukti, Moksha Devi. And once Brahma weighed Swargaloka and Kashi on the two sides of a balance, and in the presence of Devas, he did this weighing. And what happened? Kashi, because of its extreme weight, fell down to earth and stayed there, was established there. Sita, it got established there. Whereas, because of its lightness, Swargaloka came to the top. काशी धन्यतमा विमुक्ति नगरी सालंकृता गंगया तत्रेयं मणिकर्णिका सुखकरी मुक्तिर्हि तत्किंकरी स्वर्लोकस्तुलितः सहैव विबुधैः काश्या समं ब्रह्मणा काशी क्षोणितले स्थिता गुरुतरा स्वर्गो लघुत्वं गतः. Next. We will continue for some more time, as I had already mentioned. We want to catch up. Next.
गङ्गातीरमनुत्तमं हि सकलं तत्रापि काश्युत्तमा तस्यां सा मणिकर्णिकोत्तमतमा येत्रेश्वरो मुक्तिदः देवानामपि दुर्लभं स्थलमिदं पापौघनाशक्षमं पूर्वोपार्जितपुण्यपुञ्जगमकम् पुण्यैर्जनैः प्राप्यते.
In the second line, it is not Etreshwaro, it is Etreshwaro. It's a printing mistake. Etra Eshwaraha. Gangatiram Anuttamam Hi Sakalam. All the banks of Ganga River. Ganga River originates in Gangotri in the Himalayas and merges with the sea at a place called Ganga Dwar in Bengal. This is known to us for witness to the present day course of Ganga. So he says all the stretch of the banks of Ganga river, starting from Gangotri up to right up to Gangadhar, is no doubt Anuttamam. Anuttamam means extremely superior. That means it has no superior above that. That is Anuttamam. Nothing is superior to it. So Anuttamam. So extremely high level, lofty state. No doubt about it. Sakalam Ganga Tiram, all the banks of the Ganga river. Tatrapi Kashyuttamam. Even then, even in this long stretch of hundreds of miles which Ganga is traversing, even then, even there, Kashi Uttama. Kashi is the most superior. Out of all the superior places, they are all superior, no doubt. Out of all the superior places, Kashi is the most superior. Tasyam so Manikarniko Tamatama Yatreshwaro Muktidaha. In Kashi, Tatra, Tasyam. Sa Manikarnika, that Manikarnika which we talked about earlier, that means in the previous sloka, that Manikarnika is Uttamatama. Kashi is Uttama. Manikarnika is Uttamatama. Uttama, Uttamatara, Uttamatama. Uttamatara is comparatively superior. Uttamatama is most superior. Nothing is superior to this Manikarnika. That is inside Kashi, there Kashi is definitely superior to all other places. But inside Kashi there are again several gods. Now which god is superior to which god? Now Manikarnika god is the most superior. Manikarniko Tamatama Yatra Ishvaro Muktidaha. Why? Because God Vishwanatha, Bhagavan Vishwanatha is there for giving you mukti. He is present. Vishwanatha temple is very close to Manikarnika god. The present development of Kashi done by the present government, has established a famous celebrated Kashi corridor that actually is situated from the Manikarnika Ghat. It goes right up to Vishwanatha temple. You can walk straight after taking bath in Manikarnika. You can close your eyes and start walking on the corridor. You will go and have darshan of Vishwanatha. That is the present arrangement. It was not so earlier. It was all ridden with so many lanes and by lanes and lot of structures and all that. All those were removed and they have beautified that whole place. So the greatness of Manikarnika is that Bhagavan Vishwanatha is blessing you on its bank. Yatra Ishvaro Muktidaha Devanapi Vidurlabham Sthalamidam. This Sthala, this Kashi Sthala, this Kshetra is difficult to attain even for Devas. Forget about humans. Even for Devas, Devas maybe have. In fact, there are many statements in many Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam, that particularly in Kali Yuga, Devas are envious of human beings. Why they are envious? Because in Kali Yuga, just by chanting the names of Bhagavan, these human beings attain moksha. Whereas for Devas it is not so. Because why it is not so? The rule is the same. They can also do that. They cannot do that because of the atmosphere of bhoga. The enjoyments are there so many, they cannot take their eyes off their enjoyment and chant Bhagavan Nama. Whereas that is possible, particularly in Kali Yuga, when there is all round misery all around us. The only recourse for us is to chant Bhagavan Nama, as advised by Srimad Bhagavatam. So these human beings are lucky because by simply chanting the Bhagavan Nama, they are going to attain moksha. Whereas we are suffering here, though we are enjoyers, so-called enjoyers, we cannot attain moksha. So they are envious of humans. This statement has been made repeatedly in many Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why he says, Devana api durlabham. It is difficult of attainment even for Devas. To come to Kashi and spend your life there and attain moksha is not given to them. Devanamapi durlabham sthalamidam papaughanakshamam. It has the capacity of destroying a whole mountain of sins, papaugha, a whole group of sins. It can destroy, that has the capacity. Kshamata is capacity. Purvoparjita punya punjagamakam punyairjane prapyate. By whom is Kashi attained? Only people with religious merit, people with punya. Punyairjanehi prapyate. Kashi is attained only by those who have punya to their account. Now, what leads them to Kashi? Even those who have the punya leads them to Kashi. Purva uparjita punya punjagamakam. Which punya? Purva uparjita. Punya which has been accumulated in their previous lives. That means you need a lot of punya for this. If you do some punya during this birth, it may not be enough for you to go to Kashi. So, purva uparjita. In all your previous lives, whatever punya you have accumulated, that punya punja, that mass of punya punja, you need a punya punja, a mass of punya to be able to go to Kashi. Punya punja gamakam, that punya punja takes you to Kashi. It is gamakam is that which takes you. So it is the punya punja, the mass of punya, which takes you to Kashi. And for whom did it happen? For those who have lot of punya to their account. The bank of Ganga, right from Gangotri to Ganga Dwar, no doubt it is all very superior, no doubt about it. All that is superior. But even there, Kashi is most superior to all other places on the banks of Ganga river. Now, even inside Kashi, Manikarnika is Uttamottamatama, is the most superior. And that is because Bhagavan Ishvara Vishwanatha, who is the giver of mukti, is there to bless us on the banks of Manikarnika. And this place, Kashi, is difficult of attainment even for Devas, and it has the capacity to destroy a whole mass of sins. And for whom is this place Kashi? It is the place only for Punya Purushas, Punyair Janehi, those who have Punya to their account. And it is that Punya which takes them there, which has been accumulated over several births, previous births. And it has to be a mass of Punya, Punya Punja. गङ्गातीरमनुत्तमं हि सकलं तत्रापि काश्युत्तमा तस्यां सा मणिकर्णिकोत्तमतमा यत्रेश्वरो मुक्तिदः देवानामपि दुर्लभं स्थलमिदं पापौघनाशक्षमं पूर्वोपार्जितपुण्यपुञ्जगमकं पुण्यैर्जनैः प्राप्यते।
दुःखाम्भोधिगतो हि जन्तुनिवहः तेषां कथं निष्कृतिः ज्ञात्वा तद्धि विरिञ्चिना विरचिता वाराणसी शर्मदा लोकाः स्वर्गमुखास्ततोऽपि लघवो भोगान्तपातप्रदाः काशी मुक्तिपुरी सदा शिवकरी धर्मार्थमोक्षप्रदा।
In a very beautiful way, he is bringing out the importance of Kashi once again. Look at the various angles in which he is projecting the importance of Kashi. Very beautiful. Dukkham bodhi gato hi jantu nivaha tesham katham nishkritihi. Second line it says, Virinchina virachita. It is Brahma who created this Kashi. Virinchina virachita varanasi sharmada. Virinchina by Brahma was created, was established. This kshetra called Varanasi, and it is Sharmada. Sharmada means giver of happiness. Giver of happiness, relief from all dukkha. That is Sharma. Varanasi. Why it is called Varanasi? It is the piece of land between two rivers called Varana and Asi. There are two rivers called Varana and Asi which join, which merge with Ganga at this rotation of Kashi. So the space in between these two rivers, enclosed by these two rivers, is Varanasi. That is Kashi. Now, Brahma created this Varanasi. Why? Dukkham bodhi gatohi jantu nivahaha. Jantu nivahaha, not only human beings. All jantus. Jantu nivahaha means group of, the mass of jantus. They are all suffering in the ocean of dukkha, ocean of misery. Dukkham bodhi gataha ambodhi. They are all immersed in the ocean of misery. He saw that. So, tesham katham nishkritihi. How to get them out of this ocean of misery? What is the relief for them? Nishkriti is relief. Getting relief from your suffering is Nishkriti. So how to give them relief? This was his worry. Then he came to this conclusion. Jnatva tadhi. Then he came to the correct conclusion. What is the conclusion? Establishing Varanasi. That was his conclusion. Then he established Varanasi. Loka swarga mukha tatopi laghavo bhoganta pata pradaha. Swargamukhaha lokaha. There are many worlds like Swarga. There are lokas called Vidyadhara loka, Ganga, Gandharva loka, and so on, Kinnara loka, and so on. There are many classes of devas who are situated in other lokas. Not all of them are in Swarga. Only the original devas are in Swarga. There are lesser devas, that is, he is saying Laghavaha. They are comparatively lighter. They are comparatively lesser happiness, lesser bhoga in those lokas, but they are definitely far higher than Bhuloka. Lokas Swargamukhaha Tatopi Laghavaha. That means there are lokas which are lighter, of lesser happiness than Swarga. Then there are many such. Bhoganta Pata Pradaha. They are all such that they will push you down at the end of your tenure of enjoyment. Like we saw in the case of Devendra and others, falling down after their tenure is over in Swargaloka. Same is the case with all of the similar lokas. So don't think that what I mentioned about Swargaloka applies only to Swargaloka. It applies to all other similar lokas is what he is trying to convey now. So Bhoganta Pata Pradaha. At the time of Vidyadhara is staying there in Vidyadhara Loka, let us say. He is even king of Vidyadhara. He has enjoyed all the Vidyadhara. enjoyments. Then, when the tenure is over, another Vidyadhara king will come and take his place and he will fall down to earth. So, this is the situation everywhere. Bhoga anta pata pradaha. Bhoga anta pata, falling down at the close of the tenure of Bhoga. Kashi Mukti Puri Sada Shivakari Dharmartha Moksha Prada. That is why he established Kashi, because they have to come down to earth. But Brahma took pity on them. Why they keep Gatagatam, he said, na, Bhagavad Gita, Gatagatam Kama Kama Labhante, going and coming. This going and coming he didn't like. So Brahma took pity on these people and created Varanasi, because that is a Mukti Puri. Once you are there, you are assured of Mukti. No Gatagatam, no business of going and coming. Kashi Mukti Puri Sada Shivakari, always very auspicious. Destroyer of auspiciousness. That means you may stay in Kashi for 20 years before you die. Whatever we described was at the time of death. You become Narayana, you become Parameshwara, etc., etc. That is at the time of death. What happens till you die? Are you going to suffer? No. Sada Shivakari, always auspicious, always giver of auspiciousness. That is the speciality of Kashi. In fact, our Acharya Swamiji spent more than 3 months of Chaturmasya in Kashi, and we all had the benefit of having the darshan in Kashi. Many people in Kashi, even now, you will experience when you go and talk to them. There is nothing to worry for us. Annapurna Devi is there. She is always taking care of us. This is a standard refrain of even ordinary persons if you see. You will not find anyone complaining. No, 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 I am feeling miserable. I am hungry. I don't get enough food. Nobody will say that. That is the greatness of Kashi. Even today, in this Ghora Kali Yuga, that is the state. Kashi, Mukti Puri, Sada Shivakari, always giver of auspiciousness. Dharmartha Moksha Prada. It gives, it bestows Dharma, Artha and Moksha, the 3 important Purusharthas. Moksha is the most important Purushartha. He left out Kama because we have seen, na? Kama Kama, Gata Gatam Labhante. Once you are given Kama, you will follow the track of Gata Gatam, to and fro. So that is why he is not mentioning Kama. Advisedly, he has removed the word Kama. And he, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha is the common phrase. Chaturvida Purushartha, everywhere. Even when you do a Sankalpa for a puja, you say Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha, Chaturvida Purusha, Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham, you say. So there also Chaturvida is mentioned, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Here Kama is specifically avoided because that is the one which is going to lead you to trouble. So take it out. So Kashi will give you Dharma, Artha and Moksha. Moksha is the highest. And that is assured. Moksha is assured. Actually, it doesn't say here what happens to all the sins of those who die in Kashi. Because everything has to be accounted for in Bhagavan's accounts. Nothing can go unaccounted. Okay, because of your punya you reach Kashi, because of your punya you are getting moksha. What happened to your papa? That accumulated papa. Only the jnani is, because all his karma that we will see tomorrow in Manisha Panchakam, all his karmas are destroyed in the jnana agni. So he is a different category. But for ordinary people, this papa is there, that mass is there. What happens there? That also Kashi has made a special arrangement. That is where Kala Bhairava comes into play. Parameshwara is in the form of Kala Bhairava there. He puts you through all the miseries, accountable for all those sins. No sin escapes Kala Bhairava. If you have 1,000 sins to your account, let us say, all the sins he makes you go through that misery at the time of death. That is, at the time of death, you don't become Narayana or Parameshwara immediately. Though he says Tashthanate, but there is something before that. So that before that is this Kala Bhairava coming and putting you through a series of miseries based on your papa. But the difference is that you are going through with this body in a very short time. What you must be going through in several hundreds of janmas in future, you are going through that in a very short time because of the arrangement made by Parameshwara as Kala Bhairava. Kala Bhairava means what? It's a terrible form of Shiva. Bhairava means one who invokes terror. Kala Bhairava. He is associated with Kala because he comes at the time of your death and he works within that specified period. That's why he is called Kala Bhairava. And he makes you go through that terrible experience in a short time. So nothing is unaccounted. Even if you get moksha, that the thing is also accounted. But ultimately you get moksha. That is because you have not attained jnana and you have not burnt away all your karma, you have to undergo that misery. So Brahma was worried about how to give relief to the mass of jantus who are suffering in the ocean of samsara. Then he came to conclusion that Kashi is the right place for them to attain moksha. So he created Varanasi, the giver of happiness. And all the lokas, including Surga lokas, and there are lesser lokas of lesser happiness. They are all going to send you down at the end of the tenure of your enjoyment, down to earth. So he created Kashi. Kashi is the giver of moksha, Muktipuri, and always auspicious, giver of auspiciousness all the time. And it gives you the three of the four important purusharthas, dharma, artha, and moksha. Dukkham bodhi gato hi jantu nivaha tesham katham nishkritihi ज्ञात्वा तद्धि विरिञ्चिना विरचिता वाराणसी शर्मदा लोकाः स्वर्गमुखाः ततोऽपि लघवो भोगान्तपातप्रदाः काशी मुक्तिपुरी सदा शिवकरी धर्मार्थमोक्षप्रदा. Next.
एको वेणुधरो धराधरधरः श्रीवत्सभूषाधरः योऽप्येकः किल शङ्करो विषधरो गङ्गाधरो माधवः ये मातर्मणिकर्णिके तव जले मज्जन्ति ते मानवाः रुद्रावाहरयो भवन्ति बहवः तेषां बहुत्वं कथम्.
Now he is raising a very interesting question because he used the word plural, na Narayanaha in the second sloka. Similarly, Parameshwaraha to be understood. So how can there be many Narayanas? How can there be many Parameshwaras? There can be only one Parameshwara and one Mahavishnu. All the Shastras speak of only, no Shastra talks about many Narayanas and many Parameshwaras. Eko Venudharo Dhara Dhara Dharaha Sivatsa Bhusha Dharaha. There is only one Mahavishnu who is the holder of Venu, the flute bearer, and who also bore the mountain of Govardhana. Dhara Dhara is mountain. One who supported a mountain, that is Govardhana mountain. Srivatsa Bhusha Dharaha. He is wearing this ornament called Srivatsa. We saw that. Bhrigulanchanaha, same. Then, what about Shiva? Yo, Eka, are there many Shivas? No, we say Eko Venudharaha. There is only one Mahavishnu. Now let us talk about Shiva. Yo, Eka Kila Shankaraha. Kila means also, similar. Shankara is also only one. Vishadharaha, Gangadharo, Madhavaha. He is Vishadhara. The speciality of these two deities are mentioned here. Venu, Dhara, 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 Shivatsa are the specialities of Mahavishnu. Nobody else can claim all this. Only Mahavishnu has all these characteristics. Similarly, Shiva has only Shiva has got these three characteristics. Vishadharaha, Gangadharaha, Umadhavaha. Vishadhara, he is holding poison in his throat. Because that is a great sacrifice which he did. How can anybody else compete with him? He is only one. Gangadharaha. Similarly, for the sake of Bhagiratha and for the sake of the devout public of Bharata Desha, he said, okay, I will help you. I will sustain Ganga in my head because Ganga otherwise would have completely washed down the entire earth and gone to Patala. That was the force of Ganga. That is why Bhagiratha went to Parameshwara, did severe tapas, pleased Parameshwara. Parameshwara agreed, okay, I will help you. I will hold the force of Ganga in my matted tresses. That is what he did. So he knows Gangadhara. Great help he did to the humankind. Vishadharaha also great help. These are all great valorous acts of help. Vishadharo Gangadharaha Umadhavaha. He is also the consort of Uma. It is not Madhavaha, it is Umadhavaha. Madhava is Vishnu, Umadhava is Shiva. Like Maramana, Umaramana in that famous Kirtana, like that. Umadhavaha, consort of Uma. Because now being consort of Uma also has a lot of benefits, no? Through Uma we get many things done because Uma is compassion incarnate. So that benefit is also there. Now that is not given to anybody else, isn't it? That is given only to Shankara. So we have got only one Shankara and one Vishnu. Ye mataha manikarnike tava jale majjanti te manavaha. Those human beings who immerse themselves, majjanti, who bathe in your waters, O Manikarnika, Rudrava harayo bhavanti bahavaha. They become many Rudras and many Vishnus. I am saying that. Even Ramakrishna Paramahansa has seen that. So many Vishnus going, so many Rudras going from the banks of Manikarnika river, Manikarnika Ghat. So many Rudras and many Vishnus are seen going out on the banks of Manikarnika Ghat. Bahavaha, many. Tesham Bahutvam Katham. When we have established there is only one Shiva and one Vishnu, how is it that there are many of these Narayanas and many of these Parameshwaras? That is the question. The answer is there are not many, there are only appearances. They are going to merge with Parameshwara and Mahavishnu. Adi Shankara knows that, but as a piece of interest in Kavitva, somewhere he has to show his beauty of Kavitva also. The beauty has to come out here and there, isn't it? Not just Bhakti only. So that is why he put it in the form of a question. Tesham Bahutvam Katham. How is it that there are many? Answer is there are not many, there are only one. All these are mere appearances, like world is itself an appearance. These are appearances. They will merge with Vishnu and Shiva in Vaikuntha and Kailasa. So there is only one Vishnu who is sporting the flute, who supported, who held the Govardhana mountain, who sports the ornament of Shivatsa on his chest. Similarly, there is only one Shankara who holds poison in his throat, who holds Ganga in his matted tresses, and who is the consort of Uma. O Mother Manikarnika, in your waters, those human beings who bathe, we have seen that they become many Rudras and many Vishnus. This many, Bahutvam, this state of many, being many Vishnus and many Shivas. How can you explain that? How does this happen? That is the question. Eko Venudharo Dhara Dhara Dharaha Srivatsa Bhusha Dharaha Yogyeka Kila Shankaro Vishadharo Gangadharo Madhavaha Ye Matar Manikarnike Tavajale Majjanti Te Manavaha Rudrava Harayo Bhavanti Bahavas Tesham Bahutvam Katham. In the second line, it is better to print Gangadharo Madhavaha as one word, not separately like this, because it creates a wrong impression. We close for today. We continue with the balanced slokas of Manikarnika Ashtakam tomorrow, and we continue with Manisha Panchakam, hopefully, tomorrow. Any questions?
One question, Mama.
Mm-hmm. His blessings are for those who are fortunate to breathe lost at Manikarnika Ghat, or those whose body is buried at Manikarnika Ghat. I don't understand this question. One who breathes lost at Manikarnika is also buried there, buried or cremated. We Hindus normally don't bury. I don't know why the question is saying buried. We cremate the body. And yes, many bodies were cremated at Manikarnika Ghat. So breathing loss and cremation both happen at the same place at the same time. So it is not a question of either or. Both are together there. So I don't understand the question. Those who drop their bodies, those who die in short, on the banks of Manikarnika, they attain moksha. That's the blessing for them. So we close for the day, and we meet again tomorrow, the penultimate day. Tomorrow is the penultimate day. Day after tomorrow we are closing the session. So please join me in this Jnana Yajna, Vande GurorMandalam. We will continue with Manikarnika Ashtaka and go on with Manisha Panchakam tomorrow. Vedanta Sara, Manisha Panchakam is the essence of Vedanta. Please join me tomorrow at 6:30 to 7:30 session, evening 6:30 p.m. IST. Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Sri Jagadambikayai Jaya Jaya Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda